You're listening to Low Blow Sports on twitch.tv/SportsTownShy.
Hey, that's a low blow.
Hit them right in the family jewels.
Where our sports takes hit you above and below the belt. Now here's the squad. Scotty Kiefer, Brandon Combs, Kobe Burke, and Nick Johnston. This is Low Blow Sports.
It's funny, there's 4 people in there, but there's 2 of us here today.
Yeah.
One of them's got a good excuse for not being here. He's kind of traveling to go see his favorite team play, which he doesn't get the opportunity to do.
Nice.
But yeah, we're back here on Low Blow Sports. I'm Scotty K with No Gimmicks, Nick Johnston. We got a good show planned for today.
Yeah.
Finally getting to another sport that's not football. So for all you, non-football fans, there you go.
Impossible, but
it's impossible to not like football, but whatever. We got baseball going on actually live right now. We're going to do a kind of recap of, I think we can talk about yesterday. Yesterday was a pretty important day in baseball. One of the best games you'll see all season, and then completely ruined in the second game. It was crazy.
Yeah, and then R.I.P. Pete Rose.
Yeah, R.I.P. Pete Rose.
And Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah.
And there was a couple other passings, unfortunately.
Tim was like laying them out today. It was
Frank
great.
from American Pickers died. Do you know who that is?
No.
Well, all right. Well,
I'm a young soul, man.
I guess so. I mean, it's a History Channel show.
There was another country artist that died too.
Like
2-3 days ago.
There's a guy from. I think he played in the Blade trilogy.
So, anyways, yeah, we got a lot going on, and then we'll recap the Bears week because they actually got a win. Then we're gonna do something a little different. Instead of going over almost each and every game, we're gonna give contenders and like cuties who we think we're fully sold on and who we don't want to talk about at all. They're completely out of the picture. And then we'll go over week 5 games. But first, let's start it off with the MLB. Nick, are you ready?
Oh yeah.
All right. So currently, right now, I think this is a little surprising to me. The Tigers are up 3-0 on the Astros. Skubal is 4 2/3 in with 4 strikeouts, and is pitching pretty good. Only giving up 3 hits.
I mean, that's not surprising. He was the Triple Crown for the AL. Pitching.
Yeah, but I saw a stat earlier. The Astros combined, without Verlander, because they left him off the roster, have 256 combined playoff games. The Tigers have 12, and they're all one person. There's zero experience on this Tigers team, but honestly, sometimes that's the best way to go into the series like this.
Yeah, going not naive, I sense, but just going in a little bit hungry. That again, that I feel like the Astros to a certain extent could be at this point considered a dark horse.
I think you can.
They're not. They came in really rough start to the beginning of the year, but again, I was saying this yesterday. We vision and then just slowly handed it and just kept handing it to the Astros.
Oh, yeah.
That downfall needs to be studied for sure. But overall, yeah, the experience can come into play, but overall the youth and just the want and the need and just how hot right now that the Tigers are, that could play into the factor too. So
I don't know. Are they that hot? They did lose 2 or 3 to the White Sox.
I think when they clinched, I think they were a little bit, hungover the next day.
What's your excuse for Sunday, Detroit?
That's true too. You got to lock back in, but no.
They're locked in right now, up 3-0. Skubal just got out of the inning. So honestly, this is a series I was very, very torn between, just because you have all, but it just doesn't feel like that team anymore, that dominant team there, but just so hot. It's hard to predict this series.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. I would like to say Astros, but then again, I sit here and I'm just kind of hands up. I'm just kind of hands up right now. Could really fall either way. It's only 2. You only got to win 2.
Yeah,
it's so tough.
I mean, I know they're up 3-0 right now, but I would probably take the Tigers.
Framber Valdez, probably.
Valdez versus Skubal.
Okay. Yeah.
But no Verlander on the roster now. He didn't have that good of a year.
No, he did not.
But to
Straight
not
up, just
have
not even
him
on the
roster is
Okay.
kind of crazy.
I did not even know. No, I didn't even understand that. No, that's.
I mean, I know he didn't have a great season. He had over 5 ERA and was not pitching good, but still that experience and that pedigree in the playoffs, you'd think that you'd want him there, but I guess not.
Do you change your roster again if you go on to the next
You
series?
can.
Okay.
You can.
Okay. So if that's the case, that may be what they're going for. If they just want to get the short, just bang bang. But yeah, that's very interesting to see. Yeah, that's tough.
Especially when his last game, he had a pretty good performance. He got his 52nd win and 6 strikeouts. But I guess not. But Royals and Orioles is going to be a fun series of 2 very young teams and 2 very good pitching staffs, which is weird coming out of kind of pitchers, just not to this degree.
Okay. All right.
And then obviously this is going to be an intriguing series.
3 represents. When we thought there'd be only, there'd be 1 and they'd probably be under 500 somehow and they'd still win the division. Some people were saying it's for the Royals, the Tiger, and up until the end, even the Twins were in there. I know it's just I
do want to say this
Sox.
For the Royals. Especially when you go up against the Orioles in the wild card.
Yeah, and the Orioles are one of those teams that at home, there's so much momentum, can swing their way. They have a lot of hot bats, can off, but got a little one way. Lost a couple they probably should have won overall. And
their pitching staff getting hurt didn't help them. Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't they had Craig Kimbrell. No, it was
Craig.
Yeah.
It's all there for them hitting wise.
Now I'm gonna. I always forget. Is it a fixed? Okay.
I always forget too.
Okay,
because every sport's kind of different with that.
I I'm itching to see Yankees, Orioles at least
again.
And some sort of. I mean, Emmanuel Clase I saw was even in consideration for AL Cy Young, so I thought that was pretty good.
Well, he's definitely up there.
Bank it. I had that as a future of the year. But overall, I think they're the team that might need it on the AL side of things. They would need, as opposed to the Yankees. They get it. I'm always on that side of single time. But do you want to buy or do you want to stay in there and be not battle and have the opportunity to get eliminated, but still be playing so that you have that same flow. So that's going to be up for debate.
Win the first one and probably one of the best games you'll see all year, and they'll face the Brewers to start tonight at 4:30. That's going to be some series, especially coming off a very intense.
Up and high-fiving after the game.
I don't even know what to think on that. Especially with the final play of yesterday's game. Did you see it?
It was a ground
out Nemo.
Wow.
This is a Luis Roberts situation.
What was on the side of you with the Mets? Like, you should probably go for the sweep, because if the Braves are doing this with not having basically their entire rotation or their best player, how you don't give them an opportunity, especially being in the division. I mean, just something like that. You see them down the line,
especially because they hung 6 on them in the first game. Most teams win if you put up 6 runs. So if they did that consistently in the playoffs and you had to go up against them later, your bats might not be there when that game. This is a weird one because it's a young Brewers team, Freslick and what's the other one? The one that was 20 years old. Couldn't spray the champagne. Jackson Churio, or however you say his name.
Well, obviously, Corbin Burns on the Orioles rotation now, so that's
it'll be Severino tonight. Actually, as we were talking, right now, the best day for Nerf.
Yeah, everyone's locked in. Your best pitcher, most likely going today. So everyone's nice and focused. But yeah, family field of American family field. It was just it's Miller Park.
Miller Park. Actually, if you take off the coasters, it still says Miller Park.
That's awesome.
So,
but overall, I like that ball. I like that ballpark. It's a very nice stadium. Easy to get around. It's very nice. The little convenient walk if you got it too. Yeah, just some of these guys can be it together. Solid defense, and I like that. Craig Counsell the other day, kind of patting himself on the back for this solid team. I'm glad they were able to get to the playoffs. You're like, oh yeah, you you were the leader of that team, and then all of a sudden, moved there. They're in the playoffs, so it's kind of funny. But yeah, I would lean. I would in our group chat earlier today. So
I am going to lean with Kobe. I actually think the Mets are going to take this one.
Yeah,
but I am more intrigued about this bottom one. The Braves and Padres, who have not looked great. The Braves and the Padres are
red hot.
They're hitting on all
Padres
cylinders.
are red hot right now. I personally, I might want to use as well. Is Joe Musgrove? He's been pitching as of late.
Yeah,
right?
I think he came back.
Yeah, so it's a solid rotation.
One final thought: crazy that both teams from the World Series last year did not make the postseason. First time since 2007.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's just about.
Now, granted, the Diamondbacks fell off the day over the Rams when we come back on Low Blow Sports.
This is your home for sports.
This is the best fans in the world.
No better team.
SportsTownChicago.com.
Are you ready for this? Valley View Automotive has all of the hottest SUVs you've been looking for. Enjoy a test drive and the opportunity to drive one of these powerful vehicles off the lot for half the price. Yes, half the price. Now's the time to get yourself to Valley View by car, on foot, or even by air to take advantage of this outrageous sale. You better get here quickly, because this promotion is only going on for 24 hours, and the automobiles are leaving the lot faster than you can say four-wheel drive. Valley View Automotive, a dealership you can depend on.
Hey, I'm Andy Griggs, asking you to help prevent domestic violence. Domestic violence isn't a woman's issue. It hurts all of us. Women are injured and killed every day by their husbands and boyfriends. So it's time for men to take action right now to teach boys that violence against women is wrong, to help prevent abuse before it starts. Call the Family Violence Prevention Fund at 1-800-END-ABUSE to get a free Take Action kit containing tips on what to say to boys. That's 1-800-END-ABUSE. Teach early.
Indeed is the #1 job search user with over 250 million monthly users. Indeed's priority is to help everyone in the job searching process to find a job by uploading 10 new job opportunities every 10 seconds worldwide. With Indeed, you have free access to job searches, resume uploads, and company researches. There are over 10,000 employees at Indeed that pursue to help people find the job they are looking for. They connect with millions of people to new opportunities. Go to Indeed.com and sign up for free and create a resume and let Indeed do the rest to help you on your job search.
Hey, I'm Jesus Mauricio. Be sure to tune in every Friday to listen to Zeus Off the Bat, a baseball talk show from 1 to 2 p.m. where I'll be discussing and updating you on all things about baseball, news, predictions, reactions, and more about the Cubs, Sox, and everything across the league. Happens every Friday at 1 p.m. right here on SportsTownChicago.com. Don't forget to follow and share our Twitter and Instagram with your friends at Zeus Off the Bat. Zeus Off the Bat.
Oh, boys, we're back, and we're finally here to celebrate another Bears win.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. Yeah.
Why'd you pull this one?
I don't know. It was called Bad Santa. We have fun back here with the sounds.
Oh, we do. That's why, dude. Some of the stuff Kobe and you whip out, it's just crazy.
Whoa.
Anyways, welcome back to Low Blow Sports. Recapping the Bears win over the Rams, which looks so good.
Undefeated at home.
Undefeated at home. Actually, the longest win streak in the NFL at home. 7 in a row.
Solid.
At home. Very solid. Starting it off, main takeaway from this game for you.
Would it be that DeAndre Swift woke up, or would it be that the defense just continues to lock down? And honestly, no. I'm gonna scratch both of those. I'm gonna say it's gonna be the turnover battle. Winning the turnover battle. That's huge. That's still huge. I know,
especially against Stafford.
Yes.
Especially doing it against Stafford.
100%.
That's great to see.
I know Caleb lost a fumble, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But still being, getting the pick off of Stafford. I think he even lost a fumble as well. You knew Kyron Williams was going to have still a decent little game, but being able to manage everybody else to being as limited as they were, that's what I took away. And that's going to be hopefully the goal as Caleb still develops, is if he can just manage to hold on to the ball and get through his progressions slowly, how he is, from what we understand, what we were talking about yesterday on Blow the Whistle, is his little I forgot what it's called, like the little QB little book that you keep on your wrist.
Yeah.
You set up basically, he gives him basically parameters, like, gives him a color. Those colors have a certain set of plays. If X, Y, and B aren't working, you go to A, Y, and D or whatever. I don't know. You're going through your progressions. So it looks like slowly but surely that's going to be the goal as well. Long-winded way of saying I liked what I saw, what I was able to see during the time. I didn't catch the game live. I watched it later back, just on like a condensed game version. But overall, it was the turnover battle. And he's still Caleb looking comfortable to a certain extent.
So I do like that you brought up Caleb, because I have Three things I want to bring up about him
Okay.
real quickly. Caleb Williams' passer rating this season, if you want to break it down week by week, 55.7, 51.0, 80.8, and 106.6.
Okay.
That is the kind of progression you would like to see from your rookie quarterback, getting more comfortable in it. Now, also, speaking of getting more comfortable, before this week, in the first 3 weeks of the season, he completed 44% of his passes versus the blitz. On Sunday, he was 8 of 9 for 75 yards and a touchdown.
Against the blitz.
Yeah.
That's very good. Again,
That's
just
very good.
continuing to progress.
Granted, the offensive line probably had their best game of the entire year so far, helping out DeAndre Swift. But I do have to point this out. He threw 4 balls over 20 yards.
Okay. Yeah, that's big considering what happened last week when he was very
He didn't complete any of them.
Yeah, inaccurate. Completely inaccurate.
He didn't complete any of them. Granted, DJ Moore took responsibility for, I believe, 2 of them because he said one of them they pointed out right before halftime. It was the end zone shot. I don't really think he would have caught it, but he kind of did slow down in his route. And then Caleb kind of put it where he probably should have been. But another time he took responsibility for kind of doing the same thing.
Where he overthrew him and he was still running?
Yeah, okay. And he was kind of just slowing up a little bit.
Okay.
I like that he got the touchdown because I think they're going to start getting that connection down, but I'm surprised that that's not already there by week 4.
Yeah. If there's any concerns, it would be maybe just the lack of getting the ball to the receivers as opposed, obviously DeAndre having 7 for 72. That's awesome. That's great, but you can't rely on that every single game. That's not something. Again, we were trying to come up with like, hey, what's going to be the Bears' identity? This still doesn't give me a sense of what they're going to be doing to a certain extent. So
no, especially when you take away DJ Moore's deep threat ability, which was what he got a $140 million contract for in the offseason.
Yeah.
Last year, he had, I think, the 6th most catches for over 20 yards in the NFL, and he had Justin Fields as his quarterback. You have a way better arm in Caleb Williams, and Shane Waldron just doesn't want to use it.
Yeah, it's getting there. A lot of fingers getting pointed at Shane Waldron's way, and I can't say justify just yet. That might just be the scapegoat as of right now. It might be the hot person. Be like, oh hey, it's his fault. Oh yeah, that's the name we got to go with right now.
I think he's easing Caleb into it, but by week 4, you'd think you'd like to see a little bit more of a jump.
Of course,
4 passes over 20 yards is not a little bit of a jump.
Yeah, and I hate to do the comparison thing when you're sitting there, you're looking at Jaden Daniels, but however, it's a different OC too in Cliff Kingsbury. So
it'll be a good match in 2 weeks.
That would be that. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be very, very fun to see. But overall, yeah, that just getting a big win. Needed that
big win. Needed this one.
Already
really.
needed. Yeah, already was almost tinkering on the must win just because again, just the way that the Bears schedule is structured. Need to get as many wins early as possible because all those division wins towards the end is going to be so tough.
I mean, I called my grandpa today, and he went to the game. He goes, honestly, if it wasn't for the Commanders playing so good right now, over the next 3 games, they might walk out with a 5-2 record.
Yeah,
that's the only game I feel like there's a little bit of contention with because they play the Panthers, then the Commanders, and then the Jaguars.
Yeah,
and based on how all those teams are playing, the Bears have a good shot at having that record.
I really want the Jaguars to get a win before they head over to because I don't want to be that first team, and it's gonna be really tough for them to go 0 what they would be 0-6, 0-7 by that time if that's gonna be the case. Yeah, Jaguars get one over so you can lose again to the Bears in England.
Well, we got a couple more minutes here. Is there any game specifically you want to talk about?
Let's take a gander.
I'm read off some 15 over the Giants.
Not really much to go to there other than just everyone was complaining the Giants taking long drives and finishing with field goals was just just brutal to watch.
Malik Neighbors is incredible. 12.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay.
Hopefully he's okay. But what an incredible, honestly, and they were saying it with his status right now.
100%. He when you look at Daniel Jones threw 29 completions.
Yeah.
Almost.
He got 12.
And he got 12 receptions. So almost half.
Yes. That's crazy.
Give or take. And I think he was targeted at least 15 to 16 times. So
Younghoe Koo's 58-yard field goal, most longest in his career, gets them the late win over the Saints. Really thought the Saints were going to pull through here.
Yeah, but Rashid
Shaheed,
it was Rashid Shaheed all the way at the beginning of the game. Like, what are you doing trying to get that
man.
ball?
I know, right? Vikings almost losing it to the Packers, being up 28-0, but Jordan Love ended up throwing for 389 and 4 touchdowns. What? That came out of nowhere, really.
Packers were not going to let Aaron Jones score. I was so upset. That was my play of the week. Aaron Jones anytime touchdown.
Josh Jacobs, he has the most red zone rushes in the NFL without a touchdown.
That's kind of on brand for Josh Jacobs.
Yes,
I feel like I feel like he's been doing that as of late.
Colts starve off the Steelers for a win. Justin Fields, although he had that one really bad turnover, what a game from Justin Fields.
Yeah, no, Justin Fields continues to show why he's not turning the ball over. He's almost beyond that manager status, manager status, or is he?
I wouldn't. I don't. He's in his own. Or do they just open it up? For me, he's in his own category.
Okay.
Because I believe the Steelers are the perfect team for him.
Okay.
Because he doesn't have to do much.
No.
He needs to protect the ball, which he's learning to do. He's getting into that rhythm, and he had that fumble, but he's not really throwing that many interceptions like he was or bad balls.
Yeah.
He's getting a really good connection with George Pickens. And the Steelers are used to not having a great quarterback. They had the late stage of Ben Roethlisberger for the first 7 years.
On the other hand, with their QB situation, does Anthony Richardson come back, or do they stick with Joe Flacco?
I think you have to bring back Richardson.
Yeah,
but I think you're fine if he does end up getting hurt.
I did like his comment. He goes, "Yeah, I'm only like 8 days older than his mom." 8.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I don't think he thinks I'm cool.
Broncos late win over the Jets. Like, come on, dude.
I'm still.
Again. There's nothing to say about this game because Bo Nix played garbage and they still won. There's literally nothing to say about
Patrick Surtain continues to show why you don't play your fantasy guy against him. You just don't do it. You do not play your number 1 wide receiver against him. I understand also that the weather conditions were bad from the hurricane, so if they want to jump on that, but it didn't seem like they were even harping on that. Just overall, the Broncos defense just locked them down.
All right, let's run through these real quick. Bucs surprise banger win over the Eagles. Eagles almost did nothing.
Mayfield is Jalen Hurts' dad. That's it. It's as simple as that.
Bengals, Joe Burrow, 2 touchdowns, back in the rhythm against the Panthers.
Yeah, Red Rifle, not bad revenge game against the Bengals.
Not a bad one at all. Texans getting a game-winning drive from C.J. Stroud to beat the Jags.
Doug Peterson, you're on the hot seat, pal.
He has to be. He has to be. Commanders dominating win over the Cardinals on the road.
Commanders are rolling. It's very impressive to see how much they're just scoring and scoring and scoring. Cardinals, while you had some, it was interesting to see how you could have had something, but not looking good right now.
No, 49ers stumbled their way to a big win over the Patriots. They didn't look that hot.
Yeah, they needed it. It was a get right game to a certain extent, but didn't look the best still.
No. Brock Purdy looked a little weird.
Yeah.
He looked a little weird in this game.
Looked a little wonky.
And a lot of that big win has to do with a pick 6, and you're not going to get that every single week.
No.
Raiders get a 4th down sack on Deshaun Watson, scrambling out to find no one to win that game without Max Crosby. That says a lot about the Browns.
This was a rock fight. This was
a bad game.
This was a bad game to watch.
Chiefs stumble their way to a win against the Chargers, of course, but Travis Kelce's back.
Yeah, but there goes Rishi Rice. Thanks, Patrick Mahomes. I will never forgive you for that. I simply will never forgive you for that.
Dude, if Chris Collinsworth was on the call, he'd be going, what a play by Mahomes.
He still would be. In a matter of 30 seconds, you threw an interception and then took out your number 1 target. Yeah, but he could have been the number 1 wide receiver this year. And you're just going to ruin his career. And now they're still holding out, so I can't figure him out what to do in fantasy.
I know, right?
Does he have a torn ACL? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know
anymore. Ravens dominating win over the Bills.
Yeah, that was just
shocker.
Yeah, that was a whooping.
Yeah,
good. Waking up, Derrick Henry.
I am completely out on the Dolphins until Tua comes back.
I might still be out on them even if he comes back.
Absolutely. And then shootout on the late game. Jared Goff, no incompletions? What?
That was crazy. What a game. And David Montgomery so far run of the year on that reception.
Although Kenneth Walker,
dog.
3 touchdowns. Good for him.
Yes.
But
Monster
no,
game already.
That will recap week 4 and going over the Bears. But when we come back, we're going to give kind of contenders and pretenders when we come back on Low Blow Sports.
From
I have a dream.
to
Yes, we can.
celebrating those that continue to inspire this Black History Month.
Those who tell us that we can't, we will respond with yes, we can.
SportsStyleChicago.com.
Take that exit and get to the Southern Cafe, home of the Nasty Biscuit on Roselle Road in Roselle. Get over there and try the chicken fried chicken biscuit made with the Southern Cafe's house-made drop biscuit with buttermilk chicken fried chicken smothered in country gravy, topped with shredded cheddar and crumbled hickory smoked bacon. I always say that when you go to the Southern Cafe, you come out with 2 meals with the heaping amounts of food they serve you in every meal. I love to go to a place with outdoor seating. The Southern Cafe has a great outdoor seating area to help social distance, and I get to enjoy my breakfast outdoors. Open 6:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. to give you plenty of time to grab an amazing breakfast or lunch. Now get your butt over to the Southern Cafe on Roselle Road.
Hello?
It's speed walking day.
Dorothy? You're breaking up.
Did I mention we'd be slowing down when we pass the court where those fine brothers play ball?
I heard that. Reduce your risk of cancer, diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. Get active, eat right, and maybe even run into Mr. Right. Isn't sisterhood beautiful? For more information, go to everydaychoices.org. Brought to you by the American Cancer Society, the American Diabetes Association, the American Heart Association, the Ad Council, and this station.
Alert! Alert! Be gone, maxed out credit cards, overdue loans, suffocating interest rates, and relentless collection agencies. If your credit rating is making you and others around you cringe, there's only one thing to do, and that's to turn to the professionals at Creative Credit Solutions. Even if your credit is less than perfect, we'll help you get back on track. You can do it, and we can help. Call today or visit creativecreditsolutions.net for your free credit check report.
Blow the whistle on SportsTownChicago.com. Mondays and Fridays from 2 to 3 p.m. as we talk NFL.
The game plan was really sound.
In the quarterback league. It has been, it still is.
Franchise-defining quarterbacks.
College football.
Will Jim Harbaugh make it through the season as Michigan's head coach?
Some more Big Ten talk.
And here's some things you wouldn't expect.
I would have never expected that.
Get all of that and more on Blow the Whistle on SportsTownChicago.com.
Oh, yeah. We're back. Low Blow Sports. No gimmicks. Nick Johnson and Scotty K here. We got a new thing going on. So I said to Nick and I said to Kobe, I said every 4 weeks, we should pick a team we're fully bought in on. A team we need to wait a little bit on. And then a team we're just completely done with. Yeah. Honestly, we don't even have to spend
almost
that
look
much.
like a progress report
We don't
type
even
deal.
have to, yeah. You don't even have to talk to them when we review them that much. And I think every 4 weeks is a good standard to go by because by week 8, then you deadline, and then 12, you're getting close to the playoff push. 16, you're like right at the end. So I feel like that's a good point. Maybe we can extend it every couple weeks. But let me get your thoughts real quick. What is one team you are fully bought in on? There's no question in your mind. You are fully bought in on them making a shot at the Super Bowl.
Can I go? I'm gonna go Texans.
You're gonna go Texans.
Let's go Texans.
Why?
I like D'Amico Ryans. I like the way that he plans things. I like the way that he talks. I like the way that he's so far managing this team, even though it was a whooping that the Vikings put on him, but he owned up to it. They were able to make some changes and pull out a pretty solid win against a divisional opponent last week. So not just basing off of the last couple weeks, but overall, just the talent is there. Even if a guy like, even if Nico Collins goes down, Stephon Diggs is there. If Tank Dell is down, Nico Collins or one of them is going to step up. That opens the door for Dalton Schultz. They're getting over the fact that, hey, they don't even have their starting running back in Joe Mixon right now, who was looking pretty solid for the first couple weeks. So right now, the way that they're playing, I like it. I think that slowly but surely that fan base is kind of building up. Even if it's there, of course, but just they're going to get louder. They're going to make that home atmosphere tough to play in. Some if that makes some sort of sense. So I'm buying in. I'm full in on the Texans. I think they'll for sure just run away with this division now.
Mm-hmm. I think running away with the division is clear to me. The Super Bowl push is not exactly there for me yet. Just for me, just based off that game from the Vikings and also stumbling against an 0-4 Jags team, it kind of pushed me a little bit away after I saw the Jags one. I could get by the Vikings one fluke game, but when they were kind of stumbling against the Jags a little bit, I was like, there's some cracks here. So for me, I'm not fully there with them.
I'm sure, but I mean, there's just
come week 8, I might be fully invested.
A trio of wide receivers is just so deadly. Nico Collins right now is just red hot.
No real Tank Dell usage.
He's been hurt. He's been hurt.
Is he playing hurt or
he's just hurt overall? If he's playing, they're probably not going. They're looking probably as a decoy. I would think.
I would say one team I am fully bought in on. It sucks to say as a divisional opponent, but I am fully bought in on the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
I just think that obviously the jokes are with Dan Campbell, how he plays his team, but last night proved a lot to me going up against a Seahawks team that has been rolling through some other opponents and clicking on all cylinders. And not only did they beat them, they almost destroyed them, and Jared Goff threw a perfect game.
Mm-hmm.
If this is the Jared, obviously he didn't have the best coming out of the gate, but they were still getting wins. If he does this the rest of the season, the way that he played last night and the week prior, this team might be one of the most unstoppable teams in the NFC.
My only counter to that is going to be let's see Jared in the elements come January time, because he plays like 12 games in a dome this year.
True.
Something ridiculous. So I'm not gonna. That's not a big blemish on them overall, because of course when it comes to the cold weather games, they're not going to be dumb. They're going to hand it off to Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
They know their bread and butter.
Those two in the same backfield are just almost end game. It reminds me of Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram.
Yeah, from
that
a couple
like
years ago.
5-year stretch where they were just in the backfield together. That's what it reminds me of.
They are lightning and thunder. That is exactly what they are. They are a tandem, and it's going to be very tough just towards the end of games. It might be what Antonio Pierce said the other day. He's like, yeah, guys are making business decisions towards the fourth quarter, and you're getting beat up, and here comes David Montgomery. Yeah, I might make a business decision or two as well.
Yeah.
Overall, I can see it again. The Lions were right there. They were NFC champion, NFC just short of it, losing to the Niners last year. So it's a good one right there to have. Yep. Of course.
All right, so give me the team you're kind of you need to put off for a little bit. You need to see more of to get a full thought on them, either good or bad. Give me a team you need to wait on a little bit.
I mean, I could counter and say the Seahawks, because that was very interesting to see how they've been managing teams. I like how Kenneth Walker was looking. I just didn't even notice they only on 12 carries. They're kind of even slowly integrating him back from his injury, and he was able to put up that monster of a game so far. To be honest, it'd probably be the Chiefs, even though they're sitting at 4-0. Is that going to be yours?
That was going to be mine.
I mean, they're sitting at 4-0, but not impressive wins.
No.
Only winning by 1-score games.
Mahomes' first touchdown, and I think first touchdown in over 50 yards in like 10 games.
Yeah, it's something very because
it's just a weird team. And Travis Kelce's first good game, and
weird but smart.
Yeah,
of course, because they knows how to die. They have a game streak on the road against the Chargers, which is just that's I own you. I own you. I still own you. That's that right there. And especially now, like I said, where the run game is up in the air. Isaiah Pacheco is hurt, so here comes Kareem Hunt, and I guess out goes Carson Steele. He just fumbles at one time, and he's in the doghouse.
I think the thing with Kareem Hunt is he gives you that more of ability that Andy Reid likes. And
he's been in the system. He understands
it. You get that check down running back too. Carson Steele showed he's not really that kind of run.
No, he ain't that guy, pal. But yeah, it's mostly because they've only been winning by 1-score games. Again, it's 4-0, but it's not. It's a limping 4-0 to me. It's not very impressive.
For me, I would say the team I'm going to wait on a little bit is the Eagles. An impressive win on the road their first week against the Packers, but then they just get thumped against the Bucks. They got to come back against the Saints, and then what was the other one they lost?
It was the Falcons when they just gave up with with basically a minute left.
Yeah,
you let Kirk Cousins have a primetime moment against you. Oh, wow,
a lot of people are pointing this at the offensive line, but I think a lot of this has to go on that defense and the secondary. It just doesn't look as strong as it did last year, even though most of the guys are returning.
Yeah, it's not as impressive of a defense. If it's the same exact team just popping in, popping out, that's again just kind of it just goes to show that they're not in it. They're not much of a change. They needed something.
And granted,
is Nick Sirianni going to be? Is he not on the hot seat?
I think it's hard to put him on the hot seat.
Lukewarm?
I would just say like a little bit like.
Gonna need to let it play out,
but you're starting to get warmer.
Okay,
all
right.
I just I think
someone's
everything there with the
light a
playoffs
match
is still there.
Them. Okay,
yeah, it's that kind of deal. Like there's the logs are being loaded on there.
Okay,
they're not lit yet, but they're loaded up, ready. And also to me, I just think when they get their wide receivers back, it's gonna be. They could go back to that high flying offense.
I mean, this is actually having their early bye week this week. That's very important for them. Good. So we'll see if AJ Brown can come back. See how the status of Devonta Smith is.
Okay. Now, give me a team that you are just completely out on. You don't even want to talk about them anymore when we recap games. There's nothing to say about this team. You're already out
on. I think. Well, there's two. I'll let you have the one. I think we might already have it as well. I'm gonna go with the Patriots.
Okay.
This is just simply no need to talk about the Patriots. It might be a layup slam dunk right there. Even if Drake May gets involved, it'll be somewhat interesting to see his stat line. But they're going to be they're not going to be contending. They're going to be nothing. They're going to just be like, oh, they're playing the Patriots that week. Okay, make sure you have the whoever's defense against them in fantasy. Make sure you have that. If you're that deep in the survivor pool that week, you're gonna be like, okay, who's playing the Patriots? All right, I choose them.
Yeah. I think even they'll stumble their way to maybe like a couple more. I would say maybe 3 more wins.
I mean,
but it's gonna look
like the
rough
Cardinals
if they
again.
They
play not again, but they play the Cardinals. I think down the road or something like that.
They gotta play the Dolphins.
They play the Dolphins next week.
If they don't have Tua, they might actually win that game.
Yeah. They play the Cardinals pretty late. They play the Chargers second to last game of the year, so that might be their only 2 possible like W's. And of course, they played the Dolphins twice, so we'll see how that goes.
Did you see this? Consider a 2nd round pick and additional compensation for Devontae Adams is what the Raiders would consider.
Just a 2nd round pick.
Raiders have informed teams that they would consider trading Devontae Adams for a package that includes a 2nd round pick and additional compensation.
As a Devonta Adams,
please don't get traded to the Jets.
Just don't go to the Jets.
Just don't go to the Jets.
Don't go to the Jets. That's
I know the team you probably think I was gonna pick for who I'm out on, but I actually kind of do want to talk about them just because of the quarterback situation.
Okay.
The team I am out on is the Colts.
Oh really?
If they don't have DeForest Buckner, that defense is shoddy at best. And as much as I am supporting him because he's a former Gator, if he's in, Anthony Richardson just brings down that team so much based on the ability that underneath like 20 yards, he's so inaccurate that it's incredible to watch.
And that's kind of funny how that's Joe Flacco immediately went to the underneath game, and that's why Josh Towns had like such a nice game.
Yeah. And then Pittman had a good game in this one and getting a win, but I just don't think if Anthony Richardson is that starting quarterback. Now, granted, I think if maybe Joe Flacco comes in and he becomes that starter, he gets injured for a prolonged period, you could get that out of me that, all right, maybe they're back, maybe they're coming back. But to me, I'm out on them already.
I was going to be a wait and see with the Colts, if anything. But my second one was the Dolphins. But I think that was that who you thought?
No, I'm just because of the Tua situation. I wouldn't say I'm completely out. If he does end up coming back later, I think I'd be in.
I mean, it's beyond that. I've still been on the side of with the Dolphins. They do not beat over 500 teams. They simply just don't do it. So. And now it looks like they're going to lose to Mason Rudolph too. So that's
That'd
kind of
be
bonkers
rough.
too.
But yeah, let us know in the comments who you think are your contenders, pretenders, and teams you gotta just wait on a little bit. When we come back, we're gonna run through week 5 and who we think is gonna win and predict some players who we think are gonna do good right here on Low Blow Sports.
This is your home for sports. SportsDownChicago.com.
Joe's Hot Dogs has been around since 1953. Promise it's not old news. You don't have to like hot dogs to like Joe's on Plainfield Road in Joliet. Italian beef, hot dogs, shakes, and sides. My hot dogs for 3 generations. Golden fries with a tad bit of salt and the perfect amount of crunch come in a bag as big as your hand. And that's just a small. For more on the menu, visit joeshotdogsjoliet.com. Bringing that classic Chicago flavor to the suburbs. That's Joe's Hot Dogs across from CVS on Plainfield Road in Joliet.
Jim shows the telltale signs being wasted. He starts flexing for the camera. He refers to his muscles as gunboats. He screams, "How's this for a halftime show?" Jim streaks the field.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many to drive. But what if you've had just one too many to drive? Never underestimate just a few. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, the Ad Council, and this station.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and Windy City News Radio.
The Illinois Center for Broadcasting is now the Illinois Media School. We've been an institution in the Chicagoland area now for 30 years. Because the broadcasting world is always changing, so are we. Not only are we teaching radio and television production, but now you can learn all aspects of the media industry, like web design. You can even specialize in TV or film, sports broadcasting, and even sales. No matter where you are in the Chicagoland area, we have a campus near you. The Illinois Media School. Be on TV, be on radio, be on air.com.
Maybe that was money. Tell me that wasn't money.
Yo, check us out. We are the go-to guys. I'm your boy Space.
I'm your boy MC.
Check us out every Thursday
from 4 to 5 p.m.
We spitting all facts, all sports, all day.
Yes, sir. Who else you gonna go to in the clutch?
Lillard, long range three, and it's good!
Keeping you up to date with all the latest sports news.
We are
the go-to guys.
Where else you gonna get all your sports news from?
You know,
SportsTownChicago.com.
Here on Low Blow Sports, I'm Scotty K with No Gimmicks, Nick Johnston. Quick update. Tigers still up 3-0 at the end of the 7th. Skubal had 6 strikeouts, and I believe get into it. Week 5 of the NFL season is here. We got a lot of teams going on bye weeks, which honestly for some teams it came early and they need it. We're looking at you, Philly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with all the injuries there, why is ESPN being so people here on the Wi-Fi? Yeah, I'm getting like real close to getting the week 5 games, but yeah, we got for
so Philadelphia Eagles are on a bye. The Chargers are on bye.
Chargers might need it just because they haven't.
Well, that and Justin Herbert's been a little banged up as well. Lions are on bye. Lions are on bye. So no Gibbs. Yeah, and then finally the Titans. So again, it'll be a whole circus of, hey, Coach Callahan is Mason Rudolph his starter.
Nah, he already said today he's fully behind Will Levis.
All right. Just making sure.
And he had a good reason for it too.
Okay.
He was just like, you got to just stick with them, and we have a working relationship.
Gotcha.
It's not like I'm tossing him in and hoping he's like, oh, it's not like I'm debating between them. It's like you got to just keep working with them.
Yeah. I have the week 5 matchups in front of me as well. Okay, go for it.
Thursday, Bucks Falcons. For a Thursday night game, pretty good.
Not the worst. Not the worst. Kirk Cousins versus Baker Mayfield. Gotta watch out for Bijan. Like he was a little banged up throughout the game, questionable coming into this week. He'll probably end up playing, I'm sure. Atlanta getting only 1.5. I might lean the Buck.
I think on the way they're playing right now, you kind of have to run with the Bucks.
Yeah, just with that. Jesse Bates is on the Falcons, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that it could limit one of Mike Evans or Chris Godwin, but probably not both, obviously. So I would look and see, probably look for the receivers to have a good game.
Nick, I have to ask you, because I did it again this week. I started Rashad White and Bucky Irving got a touchdown. Do I just give up on Rashad White at this point?
I would. That whole backfield situation is
it's weird.
Hands up until one of them goes down.
I know.
It's as simple as that. That's a tough situation to have.
Then we go over the pond and get some tea and crumpets.
Yeah, wake up early for this one.
For some Jets and Vikings.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson versus Garrett Wilson. We got Aaron Rodgers versus Sam Darnold. Does the crystal the high heel fall off now? Wow. Cinderella story.
Wow.
Vikings. I know I was all over the place.
That was the worst attempt I've ever seen at that.
Does the beast turn into the midnight pumpkin
does the beast turn into the Muertos?
Yeah.
But anyways, I think the Vikings will lose this one to the Jets.
Yeah, that could be the case.
The Vikings are 2.5 favorites. I think the Jets take this one.
Yeah, and I think Aaron Jones gets a little bit limited. He's been having a pretty solid season already so far. Yeah, I'm gonna lean the Jets side of things. Hopefully, like I said, Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers can get going.
Think we could speed past this one?
Sure.
Bears, Panthers.
Bears.
All right, that's all we need to know. The four is a little concerning.
Yes, that is. This is clearly just one of those like, hey, just don't look ahead. You need to focus on the Panthers.
Yeah.
Because Deontay Johnson has had a solid connection, and Chuba Hubbard out of nowhere is like, hey, I'm just going to start running the ball. I'm going to do pretty well. So,
Ravens, Bengals. Is this a must win for like almost either team right now? I mean, Ravens are 2-2, Bengals 1-3. 0-2 at home as well.
I'm not throwing must win for the Ravens. I'm gonna lean Ravens side of things for sure. Bengals might be a lost cause at this rate because their defense is looking pretty bad. In Jamar Chase, besides that one big touchdown, pretty limited last week, and the Ravens defense isn't locked down as it was. But again, if they're putting up 35. I think that could be the case.
So I agree with everything you just said, but in this game, I am taking the Bengals just because I think having T. Higgins and Jamar Chase against that secondary, Joe Burrow might torch that secondary, and that would get them the win.
Yeah. Do you agree that the Ravens almost have like two different offenses? They
kind of do.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's very weird. They're dynamic.
Yeah, because they're gonna power run you. They're gonna run it down your throat with Lamar or Derrick Henry. And they can kind of open it up, and here comes Justice Hill out of the backfield.
It's kind of like
he'll
Derrick
catch
Henry
8 passes.
On the field, they're one team. If he's not on the field, they're a completely different team.
Yeah, it's very scary to see. And starting with they start 0-2, 2-2 now. They're I think they're still on track. Yeah. I like where they're headed.
Me too. We could probably skip past this one too. The next two we can actually skip past. Dolphins, Patriots. At this point, I can't take the Dolphins. I cannot take any props, any players on fantasy football until Tua comes back.
Yeah,
at least for fantasy wise,
you have to go with
I can't take the
Hill
Dolphins right now.
The only thing you have to go with Hill because you drafted him so high. That's about it. Otherwise, I'm gonna lean towards the Patriots side of things.
Patriots.
Commanders over the Browns.
Yeah, has to be. Deshaun Watson just. I don't even know what to say anymore.
The Browns look so bad, and the Commanders look so good right now. They are red hot. So you betting any other way, it would be crazy. So
Colts, Jags. I think this might be the best chance the Jaguars have to save their season.
Yeah, honestly,
to get a win in this one.
Brian Thomas Jr. looking very solid.
He does 17, 275, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that connection between Lawrence and Thomas has been pretty solid so far.
That connection and Tank Bixby, the only thing going good for the Jaguars.
Yeah, how's Travis Epstein Jr. Going to pending his injury, you're going to have to looking to see how that goes. But yeah, you might be right. Jack could maybe get this win this week.
Three favorites.
Yeah. Same thing with Washington, only being favored by 3, only getting the 3 at home.
I think it's because they're maybe trying to predict the downfall of the Commanders.
I suppose.
For the fall off at least, but I think it's hard to.
I don't know. Myles Garrett's a little banged up too, so I can't really bank on that either.
But Colts Jags, I don't even know what to do here.
I'll lean towards Colts, or excuse me, I'll lean towards the Jags to maybe get their first win right here. But I'm not married to either one.
I would probably lean toward the Jaguars. Whoever's at quarterback for the Colts, I don't know which one of them is going to be starting this week.
Yeah.
Bills Texans. That's some matchup for a 12 o'clock game.
Yeah, and this is a like almost a legendary CBS type deal.
Yeah,
you just feel like both CBS.
They better put. I think Fox got the afternoon slate, so I think this will probably be the one Jim Nantz and Tony Romo are on. To be honest,
I'm sure. Yeah, no.
Texans at home.
They got Buffalo favored by a point right now.
Yeah.
How about just touching that over 47.5?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love everything about that.
I might go with that, if anything. James Cook needs to wake back up maybe and get involved, or just
needs to cook.
Yeah. I don't know really. What was it really with Josh Allen last week against the Ravens?
I honestly couldn't even point out what went wrong, to be honest. I couldn't really point out what went wrong.
It might have just been one of those things where the Ravens just beat them.
Yeah.
It's just one of those days like, hey, like they just were looking better.
One of those roadblock games.
Yeah.
You know, in this one, I think I'm going to take the Bills on the road.
Yeah. It's something about that they've been able to just get it to literally everybody eats. Everybody has been eating for the Bills.
It's good to watch too.
Khalil Shakir gets involved. Keon Coleman needs to get it figured out.
I think Dawson Knox needs to start stepping up a little bit. I love that they're giving it to Dalton Kincaid, and I think he's turning into a good option. But when there's not that many wide receivers around, Dawson Knox got to step up.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'll lean towards the Bills, even though I just said the Texans. I'm all in on.
Yeah. They could stumble a game. Just you've got to be all out on them.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Raiders, Broncos, Raiders.
We lose.
Don't care. Devontae Adams doesn't want to play for that team anymore. Still taking the Raiders. Picks is awful.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth on that one. I'll go Raiders, even if they don't have Max Crosby.
Cardinals, Niners.
Ooh.
Is there any concern here? Or
is it
surprising
Niners
that I'm actually concerned that the 49ers don't win this one?
Yeah, I mean, as long as they don't play with their food. That's the type that's kind of the mindset.
I think, 7.5 is kind of crazy.
That is kind of wild.
That's kind of wild.
I think that, again, it's one of those where maybe the Cardinals backdoor cover.
Yeah,
probably on that type. You know, like, again, you're just sitting there like, oh, there's 2 minutes left, and Cardinals are down like 12.
Oh yeah. Packers, Rams, 3.5 in favor of Green Bay. I think that's pretty fitting. I think that's good.
Yeah, but the only thing is, Malik Willis 2-0, Jordan Love 0-2. Another QB dilemma right here. What do you do?
No, Jordan Love. Love still threw for 400 yards last game.
I've just been trying to sprinkle that in for my Cardinals friends, or my Packers friends, just to stir that pot, just to get that going. Yeah. I'm like, you paid him all this money. Malik Willis is just balling out. Are you kidding me? Is that what we're doing? Come on.
They hate you in these group chats.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Giants, Seahawks.
Oh, Seahawks. What do we do?
Seahawks, you can skip that one. Cowboys, Steelers.
That's actually going to be a fun Sunday night game. That's going to be
a fun Sunday night football in Pittsburgh.
Those terrible towels.
Tough, man.
If Fields gets a win over the Cowboys,
that would
First Take is going to talk about that. They might even they're like, hey, we're gonna go an extra hour. Actually,
Stephen A. Smith would have a field day if Justin Fields comes out.
Field day. Yeah, he is.
He would have a field day if Justin Fields comes out and throws for like 2 touchdowns and outperforms Dak Prescott and gets a win on Sunday Night Football.
If he gets
He would
200,
go
if he gets
nuts.
250 passing yards and 4 total touchdowns
Dude.
on like another additional 70 yards rushing or something, just no turnovers. The Steelers defense clamps down Dak Prescott and they win like 30-7, 30-14.
I don't even want to think about it.
I would honestly be okay. Like the Bears, like I don't think that would be a harp on the Bears. That would be more or less just more like, you know, the Cowboys are just done. Like that might be the headstone for the Cowboys.
I'm actually surprised you didn't put Cowboys as your I'm a wait team, to be honest. I'm surprised you didn't pick them.
They're more on I might be out on.
All right.
I know.
But I kind of want to take Steelers in this one just for the memes.
I'm leaning
Steelers.
I'm leaning Steelers. Those terrible towels will be out.
Yep. Good Monday night cap. That's a very enticing game.
Would have been better with Rishi Rice.
Oh, it would have been better with Rashee Rice. 5 favorite for the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Saints kind of cooled down a bit, going away from their 40+ adventures.
Yeah, but they still though
They're looking good.
Look good.
Yeah, they look.
They
good.
looked good against the Falcons.
Of course,
they stumbled a bit, but they still look pretty good.
Is this one of those where again we look at those like, hey, they might put playing with their food, or just the sense that like, hey, the Saints defense might be still somewhat legit. I think they can give the Chiefs some fits,
especially with all the
home.
Injuries.
Yeah,
like
sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And I would probably take the Saints +5.
See, I say all this, and this is so when I do my confidence picks with my family and stuff, it's like you grade them like 16 is like your most favorite, 1 is like your least favorite. I'm putting Chiefs at 1. I cannot bet against the Chiefs. I can't go against the Chiefs. They got the best player in the NFL.
I'm taking the points. I'm not taking.
It's hard to go against.
They will win by a field goal. That's what they've been doing.
That type of game.
That's why I'm taking the Saints +5. If you could still get the 5, I would take that.
But to me, it's just I can't go against the Chiefs. And not not pick the Chiefs.
That's literally what everyone said and what I was saying as well. It's you bet you go with the Chiefs until they prove you otherwise. Yeah, and they've continued to win. So they have to
continue to prove everyone wrong.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think there's some pretty good matchups in this week. There's a lot of stinkers, but there's some pretty good ones sprinkled in there. This is a week where I maybe watch Red Zone over the Bears game because I just know they're probably going to beat them. They're going to beat them.
Yeah, of course. It might be one of those where Red Zone's on the
one or the other, and I always pick the Bears. This
Fair
is
enough.
going to be the one week where I probably pick Red Zone because I'm just that confident. The Bears.
Yeah. At least again, at least you get the. At least you get the you probably watch the England game, you watch the London game beforehand. That'll be nice.
I don't know if soccer's on. That might take priority. No,
Get out of it.
I'm joking, guys.
Get out of my face. Get out of my face.
We will get out of your face because we're done here going over the NFL here on Low Blow Sports. We'll have Kobe back in to give a 2-week Jet report and a Met report based on how he comes back, based on the stuff we send in the group chat. Tonight might not be a good night for him based on superstitions, but we'll see. Nick, any final things you want to say?
Congrats to Kobe. It's huge, honestly.
Team making the postseason is crazy.
And at least one of us can kind of be happy to a certain extent.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm just happy the season's over with.
Me too. Now we're at the good part of baseball.
Yeah.
But that will do it. We will see you here next week on Low Blow Sports.